Hey guys, welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the Killian Family Homestead. Hey, I wanted to show you, give you a quick update and explain the start of this playlist 2017 on my observation hive. I am a great distance away from having this thing finished, but I wanted to give you a sneak peek on what it looks like so far and how I've come to this point. Here's the start of my first observation hive. The first thing you'll see is that I have two glass panels that look like shower glass doors, sliding doors. That's exactly what it is. You'll also notice that the frame looks really long from the standard frame, as you see right here. This is a standard deep Langstroth hive frame. That's because everything is built around those sliding glass shower doors. This is all repurposed. The 2x4s were repurposed, the wood and everything was repurposed, except for these lateral 1x2s. I didn't have these on hand, so I had to go buy those. Let me just walk you through what I've got going on here. I've created a base with simple 2x4s and running laterally, a 1x2, or a 1x3 actually. No, a 2x3. I'm sorry. A 2x3 is here and here from a stability standpoint. I simply have that, I'll caulk that and paint it so the water runs off of it when it rains. This is going to actually be outside, and I'll explain that in maybe future videos. It's a simple 70-degree cut up here and a 20-degree cut right here to act as a brace. This is the little doorway the bees will be coming into. Got to make sure there's a landing pad. They land right here, then there's the door that they're going to walk through, or the opening. Has a little awning up above it to keep the water off. Again, it's going to be painted and caulked and watertight. Here is the little ventilation hole right here. Principle of beekeeping is that you've got to make sure that the moisture up above can wick out. You don't necessarily want the hole to be on this side though, because if the wind or breeze pushes through here and then it comes up through the hive and then wicks out that way, it creates a chimney effect and can hypercool the hive. So you want to make sure the ventilation hole is up here. Most people have observation hives inside with a tube that comes out here and then connects into the wall, and then the bees come and go and they can walk in the inside. I don't know if my wife's going to approve me cutting a hole in the wall, so I am going to do this one like this on the outside. It's probably going to be in the deep corner of the porch where nobody goes, so that we don't have any disturbances happening. Forgive that thing fell out of its groove and landed on the bottom. Let's talk real quick about this. This is a full frame right here, but then I had to add about 3/4 of a frame, or maybe 2/3 of a frame rather, right here to complete a full frame. The reason why these observation hives are tricky is that the spacing from 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch, the bees will leave open as bee space. Kind of like right there. They will leave that open. That's bee space underneath there. But if you have too much space above 3/8 of an inch, what ends up happening is they can create burr comb. So the intention and hope is that they'll build comb on the frame, pulling it out so we can observe it, rather than putting comb on the window and blocking our view. So all the measurements and things you do, you have to keep that in mind. Now, why did I do the frames like this? Well, I have to have a start somewhere, and so I have these frames in here with resting points so that I can take out of the existing Langstroth hives that I have, one that has brood in it, one that has a feed frame, so to speak, the next one, pollen, bee bread, honey, etc., and one that is open to be laid in. Now I have these ones that have been started, so the bees will migrate up here, immediately see that something's already started, and put attention there to get this all groomed up and nice, and then they'll expand outward in building their honeycomb. So that's the intention of having that. Once they're established in their beehive, I will probably take this frame out and replace this whole thing with one that looks just like that. They will then put a bunch of comb. They'll build comb on it and bring the whole hive together. It's a simple construction. 2x4 on the outside, a 2x3 up above, drilled holes through this metal sliding area, put bolts through it. The next phases include working up these frames so that they look more solid and are firm and have the proper bee space in it by adding maybe a little 3/4 of an inch piece of wood across the bottom of it. Painting it all, building more frames. I actually have 3 more, so I have enough to get going. Fixing that right there. Bees have to operate in the dark, right? And so I can't just have this open, especially with it being outside. The UV light would really play a number on them. And so what I'm going to do is actually have some plywood, some quality plywood, that is put on there as a door. And it's going to be hinged off the back end, and it's going to swing out when you're ready to view them. It'll probably actually have hinges on this side and swing out this way. Now, with these braces, the door will not swing. So the bottom part will have to be pulled up, latched, then swing out. I'm going to paint this whole thing probably a darker color, I think. I haven't quite made up my mind. And I also haven't made up my mind if I'm going to paint the inside as well. But it's fairly easy to take apart. It simply bolts off, this comes off, and then you can manipulate the frames. The rest of this playlist will show the little minor tweaks and things I do leading up to the spring, and then the positioning of the observation hive. Then after that, the adding of bees, and then regular updates as the bees build out their new home. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. The playlist should be pretty interesting if this succeeds, as I hope it will. Leave any comments or questions below. Thanks, take care.